Wala na, isa kasakyanan, gidala na.
As of February 6, 2026, Iligan City remains under a state of heightened alert as Tropical Storm Basyang, international name Penha, continues to lash northern Mindanao with torrential rains and destructive winds. With the city placed under Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 2, local authorities have intensified emergency operations to combat rising floodwaters and the threat of landslides. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, DOSTPAGASA, reported that TS Basyang has maintained its strength, packing maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour near the center and gusts of up to 105 kilometers per hour. The storm's slow movement has exacerbated the situation, dumping extreme rainfall over the Surigao del Norte province. In Iligan, the deluge has transformed streets into rivers. The City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, CDRRRMO, has recorded over 200 millimeters of rain within the last 24 hours, leading to immediate flash floods in low-lying barangays. The most critical concern remains the Tubod River. Early this morning, water levels breached the red alert threshold, prompting the Iligan City Government to temporarily close major bridges to all vehicular and pedestrian traffic. Local residents reported seeing large debris, including uprooted trees and makeshift structures, being swept away by the raging currents. "We are monitoring the river gauges every 15 minutes," said a representative from the CDRRMO. "The saturation of the soil in the upland areas means the runoff is immediate. We are pleading with residents near the riverbanks to move to higher ground now." Mayor Frederick Siao has extended the suspension of classes at all levels, both public and private, through February 6th and 7th to ensure the safety of students and faculty. Following the executive order from the Iligan City Government, government offices, except for those involved in frontline disaster response, health services, and peace and order, have also ceased operations. The city's evacuation centers, primarily located in public schools and gymnasiums, are currently housing over 1,200 families. Social workers from the City Social Welfare and Development, CSWD, are working around the clock to provide hot meals, blankets, and hygiene kits. Heavy winds have caused significant damage to the city's power grid. Large portions of the city are currently experiencing power outages after falling branches downed transmission lines in Barangay Palao and Barangay Dalipuga. The local electric cooperative, ILPI, has stated that restoration efforts will only commence once the wind speeds subside to safe levels for linemen. Furthermore, several landslides have been reported along the Iligan-Bukidnon Road, rendering the highway impassable and isolating certain highland communities. The local government urges all Iliganons to remain vigilant and follow these protocols. Stay updated via the Iligan City Government Facebook page. Ensure go bags containing water, dry food, flashlights, and essential medicines are ready. Do not wait for the water to enter your home. If your barangay captain issues an evacuation order, move immediately. Do not attempt to wade through or drive through flooded streets due to the risk of drowning or electrocution from submerged lines. Meteorologists expect TS Basyang to begin moving toward the Sulu Sea by tomorrow evening. However, the tail end of the storm is expected to bring scattered thunderstorms for several days, maintaining the risk of landslides in the mountainous regions surrounding the city. The Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, has temporarily closed a bridge along the national highway here as the Tubod River swelled due to continuous heavy rain brought by Tropical Storm Basyang. In a public advisory around 11:30 p.m. on Thursday, DPWH-10 said the river had reached the critical water level. In a video shared by the agency on social media, Debris are being washed into the bridge as raging water rampages past it. Normal traffic flow will resume in this road section once the water level has subsided. In the meantime, motorists are advised to use the C3 diversion road as an alternate route, the DPWH-10 said. It added that the precautionary measure is undertaken in the interest of public safety to protect lives and property. The structural integrity of the bridge is being closely monitored, and the closure will remain in effect until the water level subsides, and safety assessments confirm that the bridge is safe for passage, the agency further said. Meanwhile, landslides, road closures, and preemptive evacuations were reported across northern Mindanao on Thursday, as Tropical Storm Basyang brought heavy rains ahead of its expected landfall. In Gingoog City, Misamis Oriental, Mayor Eric Cañosa ordered forced evacuations in flood-prone barangays after a landslide forced the closure of the Gingoog-Claveria-Villanueva highway. We are now under red alert status, and we are urging barangays in low-lying areas, flood and landslide-prone areas to cooperate in the forced evacuation, Cañosa said. Misamis Oriental Governor Juliet Uy activated the provincial disaster team and pre-positioned relief goods. Several LGUs suspended classes and work, while ports across the region halted vessel voyages. In a separate initiative, the Department of Social Welfare and Development in Region 10 conducted a joint assessment with international and national agencies, including the U.S. Department of State and World Food Program, to evaluate warehouse and logistics capacity for disaster response. The Lumbia Air Base in Cagayan de Oro was identified as a strategic site for prepositioning supplies. Meanwhile, local government units, LGUs, across the Caraga region suspended classes and work on Thursday as Tropical Storm TS Basyang approached. As of 8 a.m. Thursday, the Weather Bureau located Basyang 385 kilometers east of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur, packing maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 80 kilometers per hour. Forecasters expect the storm to make landfall in Surigao del Sur between Thursday evening and Friday morning. Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal, TCWS Number 2 is hoisted over the southern portion of Surigao del Norte, including Siargao and Bucas Grande Islands, Surigao del Sur, Agusan del Norte, and the northern and eastern portions of Agusan del Sur. Dinagat Islands and the rest of Surigao del Norte remain under TCWS No. 1. In Tandag City, Surigao del Sur, Mayor Roxanne Pimentel issued Executive Order 06-02, ordering the forced evacuation of residents in coastal, low-lying, and landslide-prone areas. Adverse weather conditions associated with Tropical Storm Basyang continue to bring strong winds, heavy rainfall, hazardous sea conditions, and risks of flooding, landslides, and storm surge within the city of Tandag, Pimentel stated in the order. Pimentel earlier issued EO 06-01 suspending work in public and private establishments, exempting only essential services such as disaster response and health. Work suspensions were also declared in the Surigao del Sur towns of San Miguel, Hinatuan, San Agustin, and Cantilan. Agusan del Norte's provincial government suspended work in government offices effective noon. In Tubay town, local authorities commenced preemptive evacuations for residents in high-risk zones. Butuan City's Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council raised a red alert status, activating all response clusters. The city government suspended work in government agencies and urged the private sector to do the same. Agusan del Sur and the Dinagat Islands also suspended government work and classes. Sea travel remains suspended across the region. At Lipata Port in Surigao City, 161 rolling cargoes and 357 passengers are stranded outside the port, with 33 passengers waiting inside. Local officials and the National Irrigation Administration are closely monitoring river systems and water levels in major irrigation facilities as rains persist. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare and Development in Caraga activated its quick response teams to ensure swift humanitarian assistance. Meanwhile, a total of 160 families, or 430 individuals, from flood-prone villages here were preemptively evacuated on Thursday, according to the town's Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, MDRRMO. The affected barangays included Balet, Cabugo, and La Paz, with all evacuees currently staying inside designated evacuation centers. Bayabas Mayor Apolonio Lozada personally oversaw the preparation of relief assistance and inspected evacuation centers in the municipality as local authorities continue implementing preemptive evacuation measures due to Tropical Storm Basyang. Lozada visited evacuation sites to assess the situation on the ground and ensure that facilities are ready to accommodate more displaced families should weather conditions worsen. The local chief executive also directed concerned offices to prepare relief assistance for immediate distribution, if needed. Classes at all levels in the town were suspended starting 2 p.m. on Wednesday, February 4th, and will remain suspended until further notice, making classrooms available to accommodate the displaced families. Coastal communities in the southern portions of Panay are advised to preemptively evacuate ahead of the forecast impact of Tropical Storm Basyang, international name Penha. Civil Defense Regional Director and Chair of the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, RDRRMC, Raul Fernandez made the call during the virtual update on the storm on Thursday, as he urged residents to remain vigilant. "Let us all expect for the worst and prepare accordingly," he said, as Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 1 was hoisted over Guimaras, Iloilo, Capiz, Aklan, and Antique. According to the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, the tropical storm is expected to pass Panay on Friday evening until early Saturday morning. Fernandez said it is going to be crucial at the expected time due to limited visibility, and advised local DRRM councils to prepare generator sets in case of power interruptions, as well as fuel and relief goods. Rolly Cuenca from the Pagasa Iloilo radar station said Basyang is expected to be at the tip of Negros Occidental by the evening of Friday. Based on the forecast, all coastal areas in southern Iloilo and Antique are at risk of storm surge and strong waves brought by Basyang if it remains a tropical storm. Data from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau showed that 630 barangays from 38 local government units in Panay are susceptible to rain-induced landslides and flooding. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare and Development in Western Visayas, DSWD6, said the Predictive Analytics for Humanitarian Response, PAHR, based on the Pagasa Global Spectral Model and Weather Research Forecasting, initiated at 2 a.m. Thursday, showed that 26 local government units are expected to receive 100 millimeters to 150 millimeters of rain for the next 72 hours. These include Ibajay, Calibo, Lezo, Makati, Malinao, New Washington, Numancia, and Tangalan in Aklan, Aninii, Belasan, Hamtic, Pandan, Patnongon, San Jose, San Remigio, Sebaste, Sibalom, Tobias Fournier, and Valderrama in Antique, Guimbal, Igbaras, Miagao, San Joaquin, and Tigbawan in Iloilo, and Nueva Valencia and Sibunag in Guimaras. Based on their estimate, potentially affected families could reach up to 93,011, or equivalent to 465,077 individuals. The DSWD reported that as of February 2nd, 132,635 family food packs are pre-positioned in 69 strategic locations across Western Visayas, including in its regional warehouse in Oton, Iloilo. It also has 23,419 ready-to-eat food items positioned in various ports in Iloilo, Aklan, and Antique, 14,877 non-food items, and a standby fund amounting to 3 million Philippine pesos for immediate utilization. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard, PCG, has issued an advisory in the morning of February 5th for the temporary suspension of voyages of vessels and watercraft plying routes from Oriental Mindoro to Aklan as severe tropical storm Basyang continues to affect parts of the country. The suspension of voyages was implemented as a precautionary measure following the hoisting of Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 1 over Aklan, and in anticipation of possible adverse sea and weather conditions brought about by the storm. The Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, RDRRMC, Mimaropa, continues to closely monitor the movement of Basyang, which may bring rains, strong winds, and rough seas in the region, particularly in Palawan and island areas. On the other hand, residents are advised to stay alert, follow official advisories, and cooperate with local authorities if evacuations are ordered.
Murag dili na gid ni mao, murag may something niya gid ang hangin kay sa tanan-tanan kinabuhi na ako, murag kani pagid nga hangin ang grabe ka kusugo.